Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Man, we got a real special show for y'all today, man. I got a pleasure of getting District 6 Commissioner, Miss Stephanie Johnson, to talk to you guys today about the commission. As y'all know, that this is Stephanie Johnson 5.5 months, right? 5.5 months that she's been into the commission seat. She's been elected as a commissioner 5.5 months ago.
5 2/3.
5 2/3. 5 2/3. So, you know, we love Commissioner Johnson. She do a lot for the community, man. She's been fighting for the community even before she came commissioner. She was actually fighting for the community. So I always give praises to the work that I see that she's doing in the community, man. I always give praises to her. And I just got to say thank you, Commissioner Johnson, for everything that you have done thus far for our community. So I want to let Miss Johnson say hello to you guys.
Hey Athens, how are you doing?
All right.
Hi District 6, Stonehenge, Creekside, Ridge Point, Tall Tree, Doublegate, Cleveland Road. I see you, Deerfield, Lake Mealer, Jefferson River Road, Lavender Lake, Jefferson Road, Saxon Woods, Frederick's Drive. Hey, hope you're all doing well.
Do you know which district is bigger in Athens? Who got the biggest district in Athens? You know?
I believe in landmass, the largest district is District 1. That's Patrick Davenport. I believe in landmass. I believe the second largest is Oviedo, Thornton, and that's District 9.
That's the North Avenue area, right?
That's correct. And then I think the third largest is District 6. That's my current district.
Okay. So how has it been so far? Your 5.5 months right here, how have it been? Have it been a challenge to you, or how have it been?
I can't even answer it in like a snapshot. So it's not what people think. I would tell you that. We go into this, or at least I did, knowing that you have a lot of meetings, you're going to be in a lot of meetings, and you have a lot of reading. That's not the problem.
Is this full-time work or part-time?
No, it's full-time hours, full-time preparation.
How many hours are commissioners allowed? I mean,
it's part-time.
It's part-time.
Considered a part-time position, but I'm only speaking for me. In between the preparation for meetings, and between meeting with constituents, addressing constituent issues, following up with departments, and attending other meetings, I devote about in between 55 and 60 hours a week doing community service work. And to be honest, the money is I'm not in this for the money. The money is negligible. I really do find this to be the most valuable experience that I've ever had in my life. It is rewarding beyond measure, and I can't imagine doing something different, being from this area and being able to serve this community. I've had some challenging times. I ain't gonna lie. It's not been easy. And if you watch the meetings regularly, you know that. But the hard part, the things that people think are hard when they start the job, which is the meetings, understanding, getting caught up, is sitting there for hours. That's not the hard part. The hard part about this job is what happens behind the scenes.
Okay.
It has been challenging that way.
So I would have to ask, what is the biggest surprise you didn't experience? What is the biggest, something that, what is the biggest surprise that you like, oh wow, that type of surprise?
Super early on, immediately, and attending a meeting, I was invited to attend a retreat before I actually started office. And then subsequently after I was in office, sworn in, I asked, when do we talk? So we get these policies and agenda packets, and we get emails, but when do we talk? You think we talk, don't you?
I would think that y'all was sitting down discussing real important stuff in the community, being in the state that Athens
That's
is
the
in.
biggest takeaway. That was the biggest surprise. Like, I am on ready. I've read my material. I'm on ready, waiting for us I'm driving to City Hall, and I'm waiting for us to have a discussion about said a topic. And we go right into a meeting. And I'm thinking, how is this effective policy decision making when we have not come together as a body to...
So you mean to tell me that the commissioner, I mean, y'all don't actually, I mean, y'all get the paperwork. Of course y'all gonna get the paperwork. But y'all don't actually sit down at the table like before the meeting or something and discuss the issue so everybody will be on a clear path on what need to be dealt with?
Well, yeah, okay, so there's a couple of things. So everyone has their own opinion about what needs to happen. That's one. Two, we do have the work session. The work session is the Tuesday meeting that they moved from 5:30 to 12 o'clock.
Okay.
That doesn't help anybody in the community because if you work for a living like most people, you can't attend because it's at 12 o'clock, right? Okay. And so sometimes they can put 3 or 4 topics on the agenda. But if you saw our last agenda, it had 44 or 45
like 40
items.
Something, yep.
So that's 4 minus 44. So that's 40 that's not been discussed. Now, you know, to one commissioner's points, some of them are transactional. You know.
But hold up, stop for a minute. You got 44 items on the agenda, and not one of them items have been discussed.
Not as a collective body. Now, we'll say there are commissioners who receive phone calls from the mayor, and they take those calls. Sometimes the mayor invites certain commissioners to his office to discuss certain topics. I've not been invited, and I haven't taken a phone call. And
I hate to say it. Excuse me for cutting you. While we on that, I want to ask. Something on the agenda, the mayor calls somebody to his office to discuss the issues, right? Mm-hmm. And just that person alone, but all 10 of y'all have to vote on it, right?
Yes.
So I'm just curious. You know how my mind go. My mind is like ticking all the way around the board now. So he called in certain commissioners to his office to talk about items. Is that I know. When you think that, I know you don't know because you're not actually in the meeting, but that's like trying to persuade a vote a certain way, I would think. I mean, the public would probably think the same thing.
I can't believe you're using Jared and trying. Okay, so here's the thing. Why would I mean, I'm not interested. Why? I mean, when I have had a meeting with the mayor, it's been a party there. It's been more than just me and the mayor. Mm-hmm. It's not appropriate because we do public service. There shouldn't be any secrets. And the meetings are designed to get the message across that the mayor wants to be delivered or another department wants to be delivered. And there are times when one perceives somebody to have more influence than others. And I don't know if certain commissioners feel special, you know, about the invitation or the phone call. But they do exercise their influence with some commissioners, and I just don't understand it for the life of me because it's wrong all over. I mean, and you see it, we all saw it. If you don't remember seeing it, go back and watch it. We saw it last Tuesday at the meeting when that number 4 project was approved, and it was all wrong. But I'm not going to self-identify, but I heard several commissioners say they took a call. And that's all I'm going to say.
When you think with that, that's make it difficult for you to prepare to vote though, right? I mean, when you got a commissioner sitting beside you or across the aisle or whatever, they got way more knowledge of the item that's being voted on. They got way more knowledge than you.
No.
Because they went in the mayor's office.
But no. They don't have way more knowledge than I do. I read the agenda.
Okay.
They have the desire of what the mayor or whomever called them in, mm-hmm. What they want them to exercise. Okay. Like the directive. I need you to communicate that this is in the best interest of, if you will recall, several people said, I think this would be a benefit. That benefit meaning that $7 million. We think it's going to be $7 million. So that, as you will recall, one of the commissioners made a comment and said, well, we can't really do anything because, I'm in air quotes, folks, that ADDA already owns the land. Because I read the agenda, I had to correct that misstatement to say, not until we sign this tonight, because technically, this land is still owned by Athens County. When we sign it, we are giving it to.
So technically now, Athens County don't own the land, right?
Because we signed it. I voted no, but I was the only one that did. And that's fine. That's fine. I just, you know.
Can I just ask you? And I know why myself, because I came and spoke that night, yeah. and I know why I got the feelings I got, because I was raised there and I went to that gym for years growing up. But can I ask, why did you vote no?
Yes.
Why did you vote no?
It was not a good project for the people. I've been very consistent. People over politics, needs over wants. The out-of-town developers from Chicago, and they are enticing us with financial gain that we can't even explain where it's going to end up. They say it's going to end up in housing. We have $5 million sitting in a special revenue housing fund that we cannot use because of a backwards process that was not looked into.
So that $5 million, right? And the $5 million you're speaking of is the $5 million that's in the pot for affordable housing, right?
Yeah.
So if right now, if a contractor, anybody came up and said, hey guys, I can provide you some type of affordable housing for $5 million that y'all have in reserve, we can't use it?
Well, I don't know that. What I'm saying,
you said it's being held where we can't use it, right?
Well, what I'm saying is that, okay, so the Housing and Community Development Department is responsible for administering these services, you know, to support these agencies that do affordable housing.
Right.
I don't really know if they exist anymore because I think I heard an agency say it takes $800,000 to build an affordable house. And I do math. I tutor math.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, where does that make sense? So here's the thing. So the department still receives funding from the federal government. It's a pass-through through the state, through the Department of Community Affairs, HUD, right? And so one of the funding streams is CDBG, Community Development Block Grant, the Home Fund, the Homeless Fund. So they still receive funding, and they still allocate the funding. But about a year and a half ago, the county government transferred $5 million out of the general fund
and put it
into a special revenue fund solely for the use of affordable housing. So have you ever heard this? This is a tip. Have you ever heard any presentations about we're operating at a deficit? We're operating at a deficit.
Yeah,
okay. So one thing to think about is are we operating at a deficit across the board through all of our funds? Or is it just the general fund's budget is lower? You see the wordplay there? Because I asked the external auditor, and he said you're at the same position you were last year. And what that means is the fiscal number in the general fund reduced by $5 million just shows reduction in the general fund. Now, if someone was really big on their stats, like I'd like my stats to be high. I'd like to be in the double digits of having a fund balance. If that's important to that person, then they're going to say deficit. But across the board and looking at all the funds, it hadn't changed that much. There's no deficit. It was just transferred. Like if you open up a savings account for, your son or your daughter or your sister, and you still have the same money. You just transfer it to a different account. But it's not being communicated like that. And some people are reacting like we're going to go broke tomorrow. Now we make some poor decisions on spending. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah, we know that. I think Athens know that.
Yeah, but that's a different topic. But that's.
So I want to ask you is, what do the community and a lot of people probably want to know this. What do in your eyesight, what does it look like on affordable housing for Athens? You just said it'll take close to $800,000.
No, that's what a nonprofit said. And I was thinking to myself, why are we funding this nonprofit then? If they can't do it for less than that, they don't understand affordable housing, how to build it. And now, don't get me wrong, I study building material costs, and I even built an app for my university class on tracking building costs. But the problem is our Housing and Community Development Department is not ensuring that we have high outcomes. You know, at the end of the day, we should have a goal set at the beginning with the funding that we have to say, if we give this funding here, if bar that there are no reductions in materials, that, sir and ma'am, how many homes can we expect for you to build? That's just like the 101 of just like doing business. We're gonna do 3 this year, we're gonna do 5 this year, we're gonna do 8 this year. You know, that's how it works. And then that's 16 homes, right? Just like that.
Okay.
We don't have outcomes data that we can rely on. And so this money gets peed away. I don't want to say the cuss word, but you know, it's like it goes away and we don't have anything to show for it. You know, like they're scattered away. And they brag on, but we have so many rehabs. I mean, rehabs are important.
Rehab is not housing. You do understand that, right?
I do. I actually understand it really well. And I actually volunteer at the Sparrow's Nest. I teach this Breaking the Cycle class. More than 75% of my students are unhoused. And their goal is to change their decision making and make better decisions. And then work on housing, work on finding a job, work on their addictions. You know, and everything is a process. And it is very damn
I just think it's, Ms. Johnson, I just think that it's crazy that we can throw up a student housing project in less than a year, and I mean, how long has Athens been fighting for affordable housing?
So,
like, seriously?
I don't know if you remember, if you were at this meeting last March where the Housing and Community Development Department actually hosted an event to review the results of this study to the public, and they had different sessions and people dropped in. This particular one that I went to was packed, and there was a couple that asked about like what outcomes are you seeing, like what are you trying to gain, and they were like, what they couldn't really understand the what, and then what are you trying to achieve by this program? And we just want to just prove that, you know, that we can build our homeless numbers. That room erupted.
It
erupted.
They said they want to. I missed it.
They said they wanted to increase their homeless numbers so that they can get more federal dollars.
Man, get out of here.
No, I actually got to know that couple very well because I was so shocked that they were just. They tore it up after that. I mean, it turned into chaos. I mean, people were. It was like a melee.
Are you see?
Yeah.
They want to basically bring more homeless people in so they can get more funding.
So they could qualify for more federal funding. And so here's my takeaway. When you say affordable housing, there's no such thing. Number 2, affordable housing. Are you trying, homelessness, are you trying to fix it? I ask this question every time. How can I get one answer? Are we trying to remedy it, like fix it, or are we trying to eradicate it?
So let me just give you my point, and you know that I work with the homeless community every day.
I do.
So I'm gonna say this: you're not gonna be able to end homelessness. I'm sorry. You can look like it done ended, but it ain't gonna never end because you still gonna have that one that small percentage that's sleeping in their car, that small percentage that's sleeping in the wood. So you're not gonna be able to end it. Me personally, what I think should be done as far as with the homeless population, that the one that's coming in, we need to hold them other cities accountable. I mean, if you got a driving license that says Gainesville, Georgia, when I ran the encampment, when I started the encampment, the one thing that Mayor Kelly Gertz told me, everybody that comes in, make sure that comes in from out of state, make sure I record that and give it to HCD. Because they gonna call, allegedly they were gonna call back and tell them people, hey, look, we got some of your people here. What are y'all? And look, I had
They're using your numbers for stats.
Yeah, that's what they were doing. So I gave them a list weekly. HCD, I gave them a list weekly and show, hey, I got 15 from Gainesville, I got 10 from Everton. You know, I got their names and they were driving like all the information, and I turned it over to HCD. That was part of my monthly report. And guess what? I never heard anything about it. I never heard anything about it. So I said that to say this. You're not going to be able to end homelessness. The only way that I can see you getting the control of homelessness if first you got to stop other cities from dropping them off here, for one. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, this is a free world. People can go as they please. I mean, imagine telling people if you're not from Athens, you can't be here. You can't say that because we got a university, and 90% of that University of Georgia people is not from Athens. Well, so you can't tell them, okay, y'all leave our town. Y'all not from Athens. So that don't even make sense to tell people they can't come here. But if you're going to come here, then we need to be able to hold the cities. We got to take care of you. We finna give you our resources. We finna feed you. We finna put you in the housing or whatever we finna do. So we're using our resources and our taxpayer money to help you. But you're not going to be able to stop homelessness. It's just like trying to stop a gang. You're not going to be able to stop no gang. It's never been heard of. It's never going to be heard. I've been seeing homeless people since I was a little boy. Yeah. In the same street, North Avenue. So, you're not going to be able to stop that. But it's ways that we can get control of the homeless situation and maintain it. Yeah. But if you ain't holding people accountable, like you just said, somebody just said they want the numbers to go up so they can get more money. So some people are encouraging a large population of homeless people in Athens just for the money. And I ain't going to ask you I'm going to go back and look at the meeting. And I want to see, and I'm going to put the meeting out there so they can see it. So
yeah, I don't even know if it was recorded, but it was at the Bobby Snipes Resource Center. I think it was March 2024. And they hosted, the department hosted it. It's not one person, it is a culture. I'm not going to put it on one person because then it was a different director, but the director has a boss, and the boss, you know what I mean? And so a lot of people would like to say, well, the commission makes the vote. Well, y'all voted on it. And when I say that's not how it always works, the decision makers are not always the vote. They're not the ones that make. Yes, they vote on the item, but they're not the ones that actually understand the item. There's a lot of things that we are set up to fail on purpose. And I don't know if you hear me. I know you because you come to the meetings. I'm like, processes. Our processes are backwards. They are not efficient. We waste time. We throw away money, and we ignore the people that matter.
Speaking of money, let me change gear for a minute. Speaking of money, the rumor is going around in the community. And I talk to a lot of people in the community. So the rumor is going around that Athens Clarke County government is in a $11 or $12 million deficit. Is that true?
I don't know anything about it.
That's what I need.
I'm not saying it's not true, but I keep the budget book on my kitchen table. So it's something I can that couple first of all, so people want to know what the true budget is. You can never get to the root number that you need with just the budget document. You have to have the CAFR. It's the Comprehensive Annual Report, and that's usually produced around April. The hard copy is. It's online now for the 24 year. That and the budget is where the true numbers. You cannot backdoor your way into getting down to the bottom number where they match, and no one tells anyone that.
Okay.
And so or just pay attention to the CAFR. The CAFR is more valuable than the budget doesn't. The budget is just, theoretical, in a large degree. It's very theoretical.
Okay. Another question I want to ask you: what have been your personal experience with working with the commissioners and the staff, the managers, or the different departments? What have been your personal experience while working with them?
Okay, so the commissioners. So, like I said, we don't really talk at all.
So you already know that's bad.
Well, as a new person, I have questions, but my questions are not necessarily about what the agenda is. I read the agenda and I understand. But if I have a question, like one time I did have a question, the process for asking the question, I got my hand slapped. It's like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to go through this and this and this. Oh, I'm so sorry. Next time won't happen again. Can you please send me the policy? Oh, we don't have a policy. We just. So I don't really, I'm not a fan of making the same mistake twice. I'll make a new one tomorrow, but I don't want to make the same one again. So could you create a policy?
But you didn't break a policy though.
Well, it was an unofficial policy. It was, you're supposed to go through this office, copy all of these people, and then they would send it to the department. But a lot of stuff gets lost in translation. For an example, I asked for a very specific specific report that takes 3 minutes to generate. It was a computer-generated report, and I used to generate them. So I'm very familiar with it. And it took, I asked for 5 business days. I know it takes 3 minutes, but I'm trying to be, you know, a team player. And it took about 2 weeks, and it was an Excel spreadsheet. That's not how it comes out.
It took them 2 weeks to give you a 3-minute document.
Yep, and they exported the numbers into an Excel spreadsheet and actually removed some of the columns that I know to look for. Like, sometimes I get a bad rap for asking for what a few, not everybody, so a lot of the commissioners are, you know, are supportive, but there are a couple that just think like it's unnecessary. Like what you're asking for, it seems like kind of specialized and it's not under their purview to provide that to you. And so my thinking is, I don't know if you understand, this is a computer-generated report, but what they did was provide an Excel spreadsheet, which was a lot of hours, because I do that too. And you didn't have to do that. What are you preventing me from seeing? If you just did it, if you ran and generated the report, put the numbers in, and Pune.
Excel will give you all that. If you put the right thing in, Excel will do the work for you.
Yeah, and you don't. But they manipulated and changed it. They took out all the formulas and stuff.
So they was hiding the stuff from you.
Well, they didn't know what I wanted, but they removed what they didn't want me to see. I just asked for the raw report, and because I know how to read them, and so it's just little stuff
and
like that.
And this is the staff.
And this was just a one-off. This was one staff. Now I will say, and I tried to say it a couple of weeks ago before this you know, I got interrupted. I tried to say it a couple of weeks ago. The staff, I mean, most of the staff, I know them for over 10 years, and I have very fun relationships with many people. But there are about 5 or 6 directors that I don't know what has happened over the years, but they are very strong about their position of 2 things. Not responding, or I have literally been told she didn't need to know the information that she asked for. She don't need to know all that. And I sent it right back. And I said, in order for me to cast a vote, I need the information that I asked for. How do you know what I need?
And you their boss. Right?
I didn't understand how they could verbalize that. I was like, is there a problem?
So that pretty much shows that this government.
But it's just the 5 departments. It's not the whole. I mean,
no,
for the most part, everybody's great.
It pretty much shows that people's inside of the government that we're supposed to trust don't have the community best in. You are the part of the community too. You do know that, right?
Yeah,
I know you're a commissioner, but you are a part of our community too. Every commissioner is. So if they can't be truthful with the community, how much they?
It was like, you know. At first I thought it was just me, and then in talking with other commissioners, they were like, no, they don't respond to me either, or they wouldn't send that to me either. And it's not something that's like an option. You know, the thing is, if you want us to approve something that you've asked for or requested or need, then I need the information that I've asked for, and I don't ask for anything ridiculous. I mean, you know, I have the capacity to take a lot in and compound it and get it done, but I don't want them to think for me, oh, dude, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of research. Thank you so much, but I just need it. When are you going to have it ready? And I always, 5 businesses, I think is reasonable.
And speaking of, I noticed you said something earlier, and I done witnessed this a couple of times myself, and I find it very, very confusing to me. Every time when there's an issue, an important issue to be voted on, and you ask the question that you need the answers to, it's a commissioner that always cuts you off.
Oh.
It's a commissioner, Commissioner Allison Wright. I noticed every time, and I watch her do it with nobody but you.
I'm not even gonna lie. I get so many messages on Tuesday about that, not anything else about that. Who is that woman across from you that keeps interrupting you every time you talk? She don't talk the entire meeting. I don't know what it's about. She just has a, she doesn't care for me, and that it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I still am capable of working with everybody, and I do, but it's important for her to exercise her disdain for me, and it's a waste of time. It's a waste of people's time. It's a waste of my time, and it's disrespectful.
For her to have, first of all, anybody that knows you're a good person at heart. You got a good spirit, you're a good person, church-going lady. I mean, you're real respectful. I mean, even when I done witnessed her disrespecting you you still kept it professional and kept moving. And I commend you for that. Because the Charles Hardy, I hate to say it now, hey, they know me, I'm very outspoken, and I'm going to say what's on my mind. If you'd have did, I mean, even the mayor did it to you one time. So if you'd have did Charles Hardy like that, I would have checked you on the spot, hurt your feeling, and you went home and told your family how bad I just talked to you. Because I'm not going to let you, I show everybody respect me, Johnson. But if you disrespect me, then you're going to get another part of me. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you're a nice person. I'm a nice person too, but I'm just a nice person that ain't gonna bite my tongue.
Well, it's just not in my nature to be like, I got some bites in me per se, but it's just not in my nature to be that aggressive. I always just, I really, at the end of the day, despite what's going on, I want to maintain a sense of decorum and peace and calm, and just try to just work through it. I don't like it, don't get me wrong. I do feel disrespected. But do I lose sleep? No. She's been doing this to me since October 2016. I can actually walk it all the way back to an event in October 2016, and she has been that way. I'm not interested in trying to change her, convince her, work with her, but I do, on personal stuff. But we have actually worked on work stuff. But she's just,
I think it's time, and it's your choice. I think it's time for y'all to get behind closed doors, probably with the mayor or whoever, or mayor pro tem or somebody. Y'all get behind, and let's see what the problem is.
There is no problem.
People in the community is seeing, I'm telling you, I hear the talk.
I get text messages. It's funny and embarrassing at the same time. Like, I don't know. Yeah, she's doing it again. But one thing I wish, because this is beyond me, I have colleagues that see the same thing that have actually said to me, other commissioners that have said, I'm sorry she's being such a bully. She is the classic day, modern day adult bully. And I never thought about it like that. I've had commissioners like, hang in there, just, you weren't wrong, just hang in there, but I just want, she needs to be, someone else needs to have a discussion with her, because she does not see anything. And at one point I did want to have a conversation with her. She's not interested, and I'm not, when I tried to speak to her one time, she said that she could talk to me any way she wanted to, and I thought she was really out of it.
Whoa, she said what?
She could talk to me any way she wanted to. It was really inappropriate, out of character, and I was kind of stunned to silence. You know how you just, like, did she just say what?
Now, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Ms. Johnson, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. If somebody would have said that, I probably would have bust out laughing. I would have thought that was hilarious, because you can't.
I said, but I don't interrupt you. She said, but I can do whatever I want. I can talk whenever I want. And I said, I just think it's childish. And so, here, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be in a childish exchange with somebody. I would like to just hold my composure and just not regret falling to pieces, and then like, oh my gosh, was I doing? Did I do that? Oh, and seriously, I don't lose any sleep. I don't think about it after I leave the chamber.
So, on a scale, I guess I'll put this on a scale. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate your working with commissioners and staff? What would you rate that at? As for, you've been almost 6 months now. So, what would you rate that at?
I have to say, someone high up made a comment to me about 2 weeks ago, and they said they thought they were doing a favor, and they asked the director to call me directly. I said, oh no. I said, that's against the rules. And so he said, oh yeah, I heard you with the rules, policies, and procedures, Commissioner. And I said, so it's gotten around. So when the commissioners went to a conference, they kind of gave everybody a personality. And he says, I have to say, you are probably the fairest commissioner I've had the pleasure of working with. Yeah. I said, wow. Because he's been working with over 30 years in different governments. And I said, well, I said, I'm not ever trying to get in trouble. But he said, and I think people have always had you pegged wrong. And I said this. I said, look, I'm peculiar and I'm a geek. When you take me to the mall, you're not going to know what store to take me in. And he just buzzed out laughing. I said, because I don't fit anywhere, and that makes people uncomfortable. But people embrace, slowly embrace me. Like one-on-ones are really great. John Culpepper and I shared one of his constituents. He was out of town for 3 weeks, so I kept in contact with one of his constituents until he got back in town. And so one-on-one, I spoke with Tammy about a couple of things. He's really great for institutional knowledge. He's been around for a long time. And then Obita, just in regards to having a similar footprint, district like mine. And so, and Tiffany too, Dexter sometimes, I think, who else I'm thinking of? Carol Myers, she looks at things academically, and because I read a lot, I process it real smoothly. And so, so they're a commissioner like one-on-one where we have great relationships, and if I need something, depending on what it is, I know who to call. And I'll say, can you talk to me or work me through this? Or even with our staff, I'll ask, I'll call our interim county manager, which is our county attorney.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
So he's been in this role for almost a week, and I'll ask if I can speak with the director. Like I said, I don't want to break the rules or act like I'm special. So I need to ask a question, but it's too complicated to just kind of write it out in email and to explain it to you. But can I have permission to call them? And they'll say, and they appreciate that, and I will call them and I will ask the questions, and so staff is really supportive. Like I said, it's only 5 or 6 directors. The rest of the staff is supportive, and the one thing I really wish that we could do better with staff is support them better with clearer goals. They try really hard to meet our expectations, but we do not. And I'm just saying, I'm coming into this, so I wasn't part of the design or the writing of the strategic goals. They are not clear. And it really makes it hard for staff to figure out how to execute something if they don't really know. They're just shooting like spaghetti tests. They're just shooting at the wall, hopefully it sticks.
So basically what I'm hearing is that you probably give them a 5.
Staff, most staff works as hard as they can.
I'm talking about staff and commissioner. I mean, overall, on an overall.
Oh no,
picture.
I wouldn't give nobody no 5.
So
because we all have room to grow. I mean, the relationships get strengthened. We could have mutual conversations. We could stop the backdoor side conversations, and then the level of respect and equitable information shared with everybody needs to be the standard, and not for some people. So when you say what you said earlier about some people being more prepared for the meeting, they're prepared with their talking points, all right. But it's when you read it, it's like a lot of people don't read it, and so they have their talking points. And so I want people to do this. Okay, please, when you watch the meeting in person or online, I want you to watch the people who, there are people who pass notes. When I start talking, they pass notes. Yes, they do. And you'll see, they
passing notes for what?
I don't know what they say, but you can see the hand go back and forth. And but it's when I start talking. Look, I'm not intimidated, I'm not afraid, but I'm getting to the bottom of it because I'm only asking because I'm responding to a constituent question. When I say I work for the people, I had to say that last week.
Every week you show that.
I am asking not to just stay here all night. I'm asking because Commissioner Wright she interrupted me to say this is something that we do all the time. Well, I've been here 5 months, and 2, this is a constituent follow-up question. So if I ask it, I want the answer. And so that is the precipitous to the reasons why I ask these questions. But it's hard to be successful when, with some of the information we get at the late hour.
Okay, so I want to change gear quick before we end. So you were recently, District 6 was recently allocated $3 million. $3 million, and explain to the community what your plans are for that $3 million.
I don't have any plans yet, but District 6 residents and we all know that there is no park in District 6, period. There's no roundabout walking space, there's no trails, there's no green space, like green trails. There's no jumbo gyms, there's no indoor-outdoor, nothing. We know we have nothing, not even within the communities. And so what happened on 2 Tuesdays ago was there was an amount of money still sitting in our SPLOST 2011, believe it or not, program account. And so to close it out, what do we do with this funding? So the recommendation came up to transfer this $3 million that was earned interest. This ain't taken from something to give to, this is earned interest, money in the bank,
Okay.
to a 2020 program project. I got one. I got one. You know, so it's on the 2020 program, project number 14 is called the Athens West Project. That's for a future park. Right now, the SPLOST budget was approved for $1.8 million. And when I first inquired about it, I was told, you can't get nothing for that. And so I didn't know what 1.8 million, but now it's 4.8 million. I'm gonna be honest, I'm skeptical. I'm very excited, but skeptical at the same time that they don't try to slip it away from me.
But I want to ask you, do you think, I don't know, you said you ain't really made the plans for what you want.
I do. I was over talking. So the gist is, you know, with knowing I had 1.8, I did reach out to contact at the Georgia Parks and Recreation Association. I did. I reached out to them and I asked just a general question. If you have this amount of money, what's an appropriate way to get started and use it that will yield a benefit? And he gave me some advice. He says, well, start with the bathroom. Like that is your structure. But then the outside, use the money to put in, if you need the sewer, if you need the pipes, all of the utilities, if you need that, but also grade the ground and then start the trails, like the paths, start that. And then he says, do a phase 2, and then if you get more funding, actually, construct a building. And he said that's what I would do, and as you get more money, you can expand the building, expand the services. I like the idea. So I met this gentleman about 2.5 weeks ago before I heard about the additional $3 million.
Okay.
So
now you got a total of
it's 4.8.
4.8.
And then there's a property that a gentleman donated.
Yeah, that 31 acres.
31 acres.
Yeah.
And it's it sits behind 2 developments that were approved recently.
And that property belongs to Athens County, right?
Yep. So I'm really excited about that. Like I said, I just hope that I can continue the momentum and gather all the questions and answers so that it doesn't slow down and that it's redirected unbeknownst to me. Because that happens sometimes.
I got 2 last questions. One of them is, what's next for District 6? What is besides the 4.8 million that you got to work with to try to create a park or whatever you're going to do, what's next what do District 6 need next? And when we talk about District 6, guys, just understand, this is Stonehenge all the way down. What way it go? It go back, not toward
Creekside Manor. Yeah, it does.
It do?
So Creekside Manor, all the way to 78.
Okay.
On the west side, and then on the south side, and on the west side, all the way to the county line, Jackson County line.
Okay.
Garner
But
Ridge.
Go that far?
Garner Ridge, I told you that. Garner Ridge,
Okay,
remember that?
okay.
Saxon Woods, Treasure Drive.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
And
ma'am.
half of Benson Drive, half of it, not the whole way, not all the way to Holland Park, but half of it.
It seems like just nothing have been done in that district in years, man.
We need a lot. We need a lot. But in the long term.
What's the next biggest thing that you're working on for District 6?
What I'm working on is a community event, and I want it to be annual. I want to host an annual event because now I do know that there are people who will never come to City Hall. I do know that there are people who are never going to come to a town hall. I do know that people that just won't do the drop-in thing. I get that part. But what I want to do is engage with my constituents. I want to meet you, and I want you to know me. And if you have a problem, I forgive you. Because there are a lot of people who do come to the meetings that live next door from you, across the street from you. I am planning an event this summer, at the end of the summer, and it's I think the title is District 6 Summer Bash.
Y'all finna turn up out there.
It's going to. I hope to have the location settled within the next week. Working on the marketing, but this is an event for families, children, singles, all ages. I mean, and forgive me if this is the wrong term, but I would like to see like the face painting for the kids and games for the kids, but also
you can't forget the kids.
Yeah, you know, definitely the kids, you know, bring the parents.
Right.
You know, that's how they get there.
Yeah.
But also I thought of this idea of like a station having, you know, like tables with 4 chairs, tables with 4 chairs, table with 4 chairs, and having a deck of cards, Uno cards, and then having.
Well, now, would this be only just for District 6?
No, it's not just for District 6, but it's for District 6. But if others come, all I want to do is engage and meet the people where they are.
There you go.
You know, so
There you go.
if it's bones, you know, have some dominoes,
Yes,
have
ma'am.
some cards, have some Uno cards, have some games. So, and this would be for the mature people. And then maybe have some music maybe, but hot dogs, hamburgers, you know, I'm fundraising. If you go to steph46.com, my donation button is at the very bottom. Just click on it and you can donate. So this is how I pay for these events, but it's something that I'm really excited about. It's something that I want to do. It's going to hopefully be the weekend before school starts. I believe school starts August 7th.
Yeah.
And then this is the Saturday before, which is August 2nd. And so it's not necessarily a back-to-school event, but what we're doing is looking for sponsors. And I'm going to put it on my calendar to go to Cleveland Road and to Bernie Harris. Those are the 2 schools in District 6 to see if they would be willing to partner with me on a school supply drive. I mean, that includes backpacks and school supplies.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
so I have a
yeah.
couple of interns that I pay for. So I want them on deck, feeling like when the supplies come in. So when you come, could you please donate supplies? And they'll just stack them all. And then, you know, as a representative from Cleveland Road shows up, it would be something nice for to send them off with, and school starts that next.
That's what I'm talking about.
So it's something.
That's how you get back to bringing the community together. That's how you do it.
Yeah, and I do recognize everybody's not going to come, but I may need to hear from somebody that can't come, won't come, but I still want them to know who I am.
Right.
I mean, I was telling the county attorney just today, I said I have at least three people that call me that want to meet with me in person, and then I have at least 5 people that want me to fix something for them. But if it's utilities, water, you know, anything like that, their roads or streets. And when I made that comment last week, I got a lot of about the streets.
Yeah.
I got a lot of feedback. The truth is, that's the truth. When you drive home tonight, look at your roads. You got cracks. You need to let me know, because
You know, one thing I
know-
can say about you, Ms. Johnson, is that anybody that follow you on social media or look at your website or whatever, they can see you interacting with the community daily. And a lot of commissioners don't do that. And I know this for a fact, because I'm in every district, your district, that district, I'm in everybody's district, because everybody needs support and help, right? Mm-hmm. So I can call you, you'll show up. I can call Commissioner Thornton or whoever, they'll show up in their district. You know, one weekend, me and Miss Thornton rolled around, you know, when that
she
bad
told me about the trees and stuff.
all the trees
That's
fell
really
down,
good,
and
yeah.
me and her got together, and we rolled around District 9. We went out and asked people, was they okay? You know, that's how you show that you care. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I see you doing that. I mean, I seen a post where you was at the board, the youth force, actually.
And I was nervous about that, because kids they'll hold.
Hey, them kids
they'll
don't play
haze
now.
you. They will haze you like what
Yeah.
you want. But they were really engaged, and they were really bright, and they had great questions for me, like, what do you want to see in your community? Now the young man that said, when I go home, I want the homeless shelter to be bigger, and I want the food to taste better. That told me that was his home. And it broke my heart, because it also said that sometimes his family don't get in. That's why he wanted to be bigger.
Listen, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to move to the last question. But don't you know we got, had you talked to the school district?
Not until next week.
Don't you know we got hundreds of homeless kids in Athens?
I do know. Yes, I do know that.
We
Yeah.
got hundreds of homeless kids
Yeah.
in Athens. Why do you think I be voicing so, I might don't talk as loud, but I be voicing it so much about affordable housing? People don't see what I see.
But why do you think, answer this question, or we'll pose this question, why do you think so many people show up to these planning commission meetings about these proposed developments and not put the same energy or the same hours into figuring out how to help the families, at least the families with kids? Like, that conversation ain't came up in months.
I'm going to tell you something. What first step run into? We get you a hotel room, right? I done got, some of them tell you, I done got a lot of them houses, apartments and everything. I negotiate with the peoples or whatever. This HR will do it for you, and I get them housing or get them apartment or whatever. But I run into this with my organization, is that you call me, you finna be homeless tomorrow. We get you a hotel room for 3 days, right? So you and your kids can get situated, right? After 3 days, you ain't got no funding coming in. So what's next? We got 2 shelters, well, really 1 shelter for over 1,000 homeless individuals that you can go in at night if you make the list, and that's Bigger Vision. A Salvation Army, you know, they got a process. They take them in, but they're constantly full, and they can stay up to 90 days there. Okay. You know, they process is different, but outside of those 2, there's no other shelter in Athens that you can go. If somebody called me right now and said, hey, Mr. Hart, I'm homeless, I got 2 kids, could you put me up for the night? It's now another shelter. I ain't gonna attempt to call Bigger Vision because I already know they full. Yeah. I ain't gonna call the Salvation Army and say they full. So I've been sending people out of town.
I was gonna ask you, what models are working well and sufficiently equipped to handle their population? I would like to visit other places just to see and understand how they're able to do so well or meet so many people's needs. So do you know any models?
I'll send you an email called, you know, we actually do stuff all over, you know, the surrounding area. I'm gonna send you an email when we go out on our next out of Athens event for the homeless, and let you tag. I mean, you probably seen on the website that we go to other areas and stuff and pass out toiletries and stuff like that, because first step is for North Georgia, not just Athens. So while majority of us actually stay in Athens, you know, we actually go out because some of my board members are from Gainesville, some from Atlanta, you know, they from like the different areas.
8-county region.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So last question. If you could change, step outside of District 6 right now. Don't even worry about District 6, because I know you love yourself some District 6. So step outside of District 6. If there's anything that you can change about the city of Athens, Clark County, anything right now, dealing with the community, what would it be?
So it goes back to the fundamental basics of procedures and processes. We are in perpetual confusion. And I say this, I mean, all the time. When you don't send our agenda packets for Tuesday meetings, they will not release them before 4:30 on Friday. I was told before I started.
What, you had 900 pages or something?
The last one was 900 pages, the last one. And I was told before I started in office, I met with the Mayor Pro Tem. He said that they're starting to get the agendas on Thursday, and then they're going to work the, earlier and earlier. It's not a process that can't be fixed, and the process is not broken. What's happening is they're allowing late additions to be added after the fact, because you could cut it off. I used to do the system, so I understand when people try to tell me that no, ain't no way to control it, ain't no way to, we gotta know. There's a time, and you stop and you close all submissions, and then they go to the next month. But what happens is we don't get it until Friday at 4:30, and then it's since April, it's been 6, 7, 8, 900 pages. The reality of it is, commissioners.
When would you say that you would need to be?
Wednesday at the very latest. And I only
so
say
if this
that
was gave to y'all on a Wednesday,
the day after the next meeting, and I'm gonna tell you why, because people was like, that's not possible, because our HR director wanted to intimate to me that it was not possible, and I was like, how do you do that?
Why would it not be possible?
Okay, I mean, so
it's a matter of just cutting it off.
So cutting it off, that's one, and two, what she does not understand that I do understand is that the executive committee, the agenda executive committee meeting, it is comprised of the mayor, the clerk, the auditor, the assistant manager, the manager, and the mayor pro tem. They see the agendas 3 weeks before it goes live. So if they can see it 3 weeks before it goes live.
They see the agenda 3 weeks?
We used to is what I'm saying, even if it's just two. The thing is, if you cut it off, yeah, I think the Wednesday before the next meeting is sufficient notice to actually, because what happens is if we did it on Friday, and people may read it over the weekend, but say they don't start reading until Monday morning, a bunch of questions come through. The meeting tomorrow on Tuesday, how efficient are we supposed to be? This is a strategy to confuse us and to help us not be as efficient. And that's why it's so important for me. I mean, I'm paying my own interns, and if I get donations, that helps me. But I don't make no money off this, but it's so important to know what I'm voting on. It's that important. So when I talk, yeah, I need to say what I'm saying because you didn't read it. I did. I have to tell people, like, you didn't read it. I did.
I just want to tell you, man, the city of Athens really appreciate what you are doing for them. And not just there. I know District 6 love you to death because you always doing something for District 6. But that's your district, and I understand that.
That's what I signed up for.
Exactly.
And that's what I want to do.
But you don't understand that, well, you probably do understand this, that even you working and doing the great things in District 6, that piles over. You know that. It ain't just for District 6, it's for the community. You feel what I'm saying? And that's why I say, I really appreciate, and I don't stay in District 6, but I really appreciate everything, because we need fair, honest people in those positions.
Uncompromised, willing to be uncompromised.
Not somebody that gonna tell you, I can do it because I can do it because I want to do it. Not that. We don't need that. We need somebody that gonna be transparent with our community and keep trying to help us build and grow. Not somebody that gonna stop, have secret meetings and hide money here, take money here. I mean, all that stuff. And I love it.
That's exhausting. That's the part that's exhausting. So when you said, what's the hard part? That part is the exhausting part. Is dealing with the behind-the-scenes stuff and just trying to just stay focused on advocating for your decision.
You would think that it wouldn't be so hard to be a commissioner. I mean, the only hard part about being a commissioner is listening to you. But listening to some of the things that I hear, being a commissioner is twice as hard because you have to fight the people. You have to fight the people that you work with, and you have to. I mean, well, not physically fight. What I'm saying.
Well, no, I don't think people care. I think there is a healthy group of commissioners that do not care. I don't think they read or prepare.
When you talking about care,
like I don't think they talk to their constituents. I mean, I know some of their constituents because they call me. And I'm like, why are you calling me? And I said, what's your address? I said, oh, you're in this district. Now, I know, but I can't get a phone call back. And so that's all I had. That's all I had to hear. And I said, okay, what can I help you with? And you know, I'll actually go through and send a copy of the email to the commissioner as a courtesy, and just help that person. But I think there's some people. Now, I work with mostly retired people. Now, I got a whole husband. I got this job that's 55 to 60 hours. I'm in graduate school, which is another 55 hours. And then I volunteer at the Sparrow's Nest with the Breaking the Cycle class. And then, I have my family. I care for my elderly parents. And I'm active in the church. So my day is not, I don't have no spare time.
How do you do it?
But I'm wondering if you retire for a living, that's what you do for a living, you retire, why don't you have time? Or why aren't you more prepared? Or why isn't it important enough to you to be prepared? It's just a generic question I have often. You had all week.
Well, I just want to personally, I want to say, I want to personally thank you for all that you have done for Athens, even back before you became a. People don't even know you've been working for Athens. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say I personally thank you for all the things that you have brought to Athens, man. And maybe, it's like having an ice pick. You keep chiseling away at that ice and breaking that ice. And eventually, the ones that don't get it.
That's how I look at it. Just keep chipping away. Yeah.
Just keep chipping away. The ones that don't get it. Eventually, when all that little ice, they're going to have to get it. Yeah. They'll have it then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or they will be disinterested in continuing on.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you for this hour. Is there anything you want to leave our readers? Let our readers know. Let them know how they can find you on social media. Okay. Let them know how they can find your website.
Okay. My website is Steph, StephePHFOR6.com. My Facebook page is StephanieFor6.com. My email is Stephanie, StephaniePHANIEFOR6@gmail.com. And my phone number is 762-402-3315. Now, I know that there are people in my inbox that you're on my list to contact for the week, so I will reach out to you. So I do return phone calls, and I do meet with people. So, but I wanted to tell one quick last story.
Okay.
Very, very quickly, I saw a post on my social media, and it was not a nice post. It was like, I expected something better from you. I thought you were going to be different. It sounds like you're operating from a place of being mad and holding a grudge. And that was so confusing to me that I reached out to the individual and I asked if we could meet for coffee. Because I was like, what did he see? What did I show? And I said, so a couple of days later, he responded and said, yeah. So we met at a breakfast place and just sat down, had coffee. And he just said, he came into the restaurant. I'm not changing my mind. The way I feel is the way I feel. So, I mean, I was a little deflated, you know, not that I was trying to sell him. I just really wanted to know, what did you see that made you think that I have a vendetta against him? I'm trying to get somebody. He says, well, you know, you talk too much. So I did the same thing. You know, Charles, show him what you did.
I'm looking like, what?
Yeah, so he said that.
Why is he listening then?
He said that usually commissioners, when they start, they're quiet for the first 6 months to a year. And I said, you're absolutely right. That actually is the truth. I said, but I'm in a unique situation. I said, I actually understand. I said, I've studied this, and I said, I've attended hundreds of meetings, and I said, I felt very comfortable. I said, they are quiet because they're uncomfortable. But I felt comfortable just jumping in. And plus, I had prepared for the meeting.
So you've been in the government for a while, right?
For a while, and then I continued to watch meetings. And then the second thing he said, but, you know, you don't always have to respond. And I thought, do I talk too much? Do I talk too much? I think I talk when it's relevant. And then I said, what made you say that? He says, well, you're just making all the commissioners look bad. Because they're not.
Because you know your stuff and they don't.
You know what it boiled down to?
What?
I said, they're not talking because they didn't read the material. I said, please don't judge me because I'm prepared. And he kind of like, But I just say that because I'm willing to meet with anybody. I wanted to really hear where he was coming from. He still didn't change his mind. But at the end of the day, I know how much weight to apply to that. That was a very harsh criticism. But at the end of the day, I'm going to prepare the best I can.
If I ain't learned nothing else in these last 10 years, I have learned one thing, Ms. Johnson, is that you can't please everybody.
No.
You have.
Oh no, absolutely.
I mean, I think on my website I got over 300,000 followers, and I'm almost positive 300,000 people don't like me. Well, I'm not saying they like me. You know what I'm saying? So. But they are following me because they love the work that I do. They know I'm fair, I'm honest. I mean, if I make a mistake, I'm going to say, hey, look, I messed up, I made a mistake. Yeah. But I always got my hand, because God teaches you this. If you love God the way you say you do, then you know that God wants us to reach our hand out to help people. I mean, that just, whether you Democrat, Republican, it don't matter.
It should not matter.
I mean, if you believe in God, I mean, unless you're walking with the devil, I can understand you not wanting to do it. But if you're walking in the path that God laid for us, then reach out your hand and help somebody. And if people don't understand this, that's what commissioners are basically doing. Y'all are in a position to lay out y'all hand. Y'all in a position, in a chair, to lay out that path for people, to help people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If we can't feel like we get that help from y'all, y'all ain't walking in the path that God gave y'all.
And another thing, you just said y'all. Okay, so look, I have said this to many people. I work too hard to be included in a y'all conversation.
But
I know what he's saying, but you know, it's like I want him to say at least 9 people or at least 8 people, but y'all, and I hear this a lot, the commission ain't no good. The commission will do whatever.
You know, when they say that, see, you got to understand something. When people say we don't trust y'all, when they speaking of the commissioner, they're not saying y'all individually, they're saying y'all as a whole.
But everybody don't follow you, Charles. Yeah, almost everybody, but not everybody.
Who almost everybody?
Yeah, almost everybody. But I just want, you know what, I'm not saying I need to feel extra special. I just don't want to be lumped in a group that I know that's not trying as hard as me.
But guess what? When they talk, and don't get me wrong now, when they talk about the commission, when the community says something negative toward the
noun. We're going to go, okay, the proper noun.
Yeah, okay. When they talk about something negative about the commission, not commissioner, about the commission, that includes all 10
I can own that. I can own that. I can accept that.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I say, if I said something to the, to the community and said, man, these commissioners ain't got it right. The commission ain't got it right yet. I'm not saying Stephanie ain't got it right. I ain't saying Ovita, Dex, or whoever. I'm not saying they ain't got it right. I'm just saying, as a whole, y'all ain't got it right.
But I think the people who continue to come, who are starting to come, I'm telling you, it makes a difference. You don't have to come and speak, but if you can come sit in the audience, please do that. We need to see different faces, and you don't have to stay the whole time, just sometime. And that will help us. It will help me.
Again, let them know about the bash before we go on.
Hopefully the bash will be on August 2nd, the Saturday before school starts, and it's sunset. What is it? Sunset in the 6th, summer bash. That's the title right now.
So it would be a flyer and all that out before it starts, right?
When we can secure the place, we have a location, A, B, and C version. If we could get A, we're going straight to the printers because we got all the other information. We're looking for sponsors for like school supplies. Looking for sponsors.
So if they want to sign up to be a sponsor, what would they need to do to be a sponsor?
Go to my page and just leave a message, and I'll get in touch with them. And if they want to volunteer, because we'll need that. And if they also want to, if they have a service or a business, like if they want to come and set up a table, that's a service-based thing. Like if they offer services to people maybe of need. I would like to offer that to them, like give them the space too.
Okay. Awesome, man. Hey,
it's about the community, and I told one gentleman before this, it's not about campaigning, and it's not about
No, because we're up for re-election right now, so you're not doing it.
Well, I'm not doing no speeches. I may do a speech to announce the raffle winner, but I'm not going to do.
Y'all got raffle too? What y'all giving away?
So we hope to have, with sponsorship, we hope to have a youth gift for a girl, a youth gift for a boy, and then an adult gift.
Okay.
So that's the goal. This is the wish list. This is the wish list. And we're starting it. We started 3 weeks ago with the basics, and then kind of building on as it grows. But we definitely want to shoot up printers by next Monday and get them back on Tuesday, and just flood the area.
So everybody that watching or view this video, reach out to Ms. Johnson. Email her, text her. She left her phone number and stuff in the chat. If you want to be a part of this, reach out to her, man. Cause I think this is gonna be an awesome something for the kids, for the family, and it's just not and it's just not restricted to District 6. Yeah. It'll be open to everybody, man. Back to school, man. So
let me give you my number.
What day is gonna be on?
It's Saturday, August 2nd, and I'm gonna give
August
you my
what?
2nd.
So you know what? We might just partner with y'all because we're doing one August 2nd too.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, we're doing one August 2nd. And we already collected a lot of stuff.
That'd be super fantastic.
So we might just partner with you guys and just go and just get all these supplies and stuff out to the people at one time.
That'd be super. And I was thinking of some other partners too. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So my phone number, if you want to partner, you want to volunteer, if you want to be there, if you want to just get the details, my phone number again is 762-402-3315. Text me if you want details or if you want to participate. I need it, and I would love it, and I welcome it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, there you have it.
District 6.
District 6. So there you have it. Thanks everybody for watching, man. Thank you guys for watching. We got another lineup that's gonna be coming around this month. We got a good lineup coming. We got Commissioner Fisher gonna come on. We got our Chief of Police that's gonna come on. We got Commissioner Thornton that's gonna come on. I'm gonna try to get Payne Construction on. I'm gonna try to get them on. I'm gonna try to get Willie Green on. But yeah, we got a good lineup coming, man. So I will put a flyer out when it's that time or whatever. But make sure you tune in this Sunday at 8 o'clock with the Chopping Up with Charles Hardy, man. We're gonna talk about some community issues. But thank you guys for watching, and thanks Ms. Johnson for giving me an hour of her time, man, to talk to the community, man. And thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye. Thank you for the invitation.